Hello everyone, you're listening to the LockInYourSuccess.com Trading Performance Podcast with Master Trading Performance Coach John Locke, which is all about real traders, real problems, and real coaching. This is episode number 20, and the topic of today's episode was inspired by one of our listeners who asked, how do I come back from blowing a trading account? For those of you who may not know what blowing in a trading account means, it essentially means that you've lost so much money in an account that you can no longer trade with it. Now, when we blow a trading account, there are both financial and psychological consequences. Let's consider the financial side first, because everything we say has to be taken in the context of the size of the person's trading account versus the size of the person's actual net worth. So for example, if we had a person with a $100,000 net worth and a $100,000 trading account, most of which was borrowed money, which I do not recommend, by the way. But if that were the case, then yes, you'd have an emotional challenge with that. But more importantly, you'd be financially devastated. You literally wouldn't have enough money to trade with. And therefore, assuming you wanted to continue trading, then you're going to have to build up enough money first to take some risk control classes, because obviously you're having challenges with that. But first to do that, and then next to build up enough money to start trading again. And that's going to take some time, and during that time, your psychological things should iron themselves out. On the other hand, if I had a net worth of $1 million and I blow up a $100,000 trading account, it hurts mentally, and financially it sucks, but it's really not that big a deal. Therefore, the primary challenge this trader is going to have is going to be mental, which we can certainly deal with. So first of all, if you happen to blow up an account, realize that an extremely large percentage of people who are now very successful traders have blown up at least one trading account in their trading career. In fact, many professional traders that I talk to consider this a rite of passage, so to speak. It's literally a lesson that many of us need to experience before we can fully appreciate the importance of proper risk control in our trading. My point being that blowing a trading account is simply one of the many temporary setbacks that tend to occur on the path to becoming an extremely successful trader for some people. For other people, however, blowing an account has the opposite effect. It's the end. It crushes them emotionally to the point where they can no longer even trade. So realizing that two people can go through the same event and have very different thoughts and experiences about it should tell you something. So let me ask you, what is the difference between the person who blows a trading account and then ends up in what we call the downward spiral of doom, and the person who blows a trading account and utilizes that circumstance to propel himself to becoming a better and better trader? Well, let me give you a hint. It's not the fact that the person blew the account. Because if that were the case, then every person who ever experienced blowing a trading account would no longer be a trader. And I assure you that's simply not the case. So what is the difference? Well, the only difference between the two people that experience the same setback and then go on to experience very different future results is the way they think about the setback. So for example, trader 1 blows an account. He might think thoughts like, how could I be so stupid? I'm a failure. I'm never going to make it as a trader, or something to that effect. When he thinks these thoughts, it's naturally going to create certain unproductive feelings such as fear, anxiety, and scarcity, and indecisiveness and overwhelm. Those negative feelings are going to lead to certain unproductive actions or non-actions, such as giving up or market revenge, just letting trades go and hoping they come back, strategy hopping, reducing to a minimal trading size, and other poor trading decisions that aren't going to make money long term. And those poor actions are going to result in poor performance, which will inevitably lead to proving your thoughts about being stupid and a failure and never making it as a trader. That's how our mind works. Our actions always prove our thoughts to the extent that that proof is within our control. In contrast, Trader 2 blows an account as well. But his thoughts are different. He thinks something like, I have less money, and that's okay. These things happen to even the best traders. Let's figure out specifically why this happened and what I can do to prevent it from happening again. The lessons from this will make me an even better trader. The feelings created from these thoughts will be very different. Perhaps a feeling of compassion for himself, curiosity, determination, and yes, even confidence from learning the lessons this experience has provided. These feelings are naturally going to lead to different actions, such as controlling risk control measures and better adherence to those measures. And as a result, he will prove his thought that the experience has indeed made him a much, much better trader. Understand that when certain events happen that result in us having less money, that nasty and unproductive thoughts naturally come up. It's normal. It happens to all of us, including me. But the key is to interrupt those thoughts and realize that these thoughts are not facts. The only fact is that you currently have less money than you had earlier. And that fact in itself is neutral. In fact, I bet there have been times in your life when you had less money for one reason or another, and you were happy about it. Maybe you bought a new car, for example, and you were just really excited to have that car. Realize that the way you feel about the fact of having less money is completely dependent on the thoughts you choose to give attention to revolving around that fact. And you know the really cool thing? Is you get to choose what that story is. You can choose the story where this money difference means you're a dumbass, you're a piece of shit garbage failure, and that you're never going to make it as a trader. You can feel scared and insecure about that, and then take the actions that a scared and insecure person would take, and thereby prove your story. That's what most people do. Or you could choose the story where the money difference means that perhaps you've made an error in judgment, as all people do from time to time, even the most successful and most admired people. You can decide that you learned from that error, and as a result, you've gained the experience required to make much better judgments in the future, which will inevitably make you a much better trader. Thoughts that create useful emotions such as compassion, curiosity, and yes, even confidence, leading to the actions that will improve your trading decisions, and thereby ultimately proving your story that you are becoming a better and better trader. The choice is yours. Now, I understand that what I'm saying can be challenging to accept at first, and that's okay. If you're having difficulty with challenging your poor story and or believing this new story that you'd like to have, this is where a trading performance coach can have a huge impact on your life. And that's what we're here for. What? You don't have a trading performance coach? Well, if that's the case, I'd be honored to be that coach for you. Whether it be through these podcasts, our programs, our memberships, or even a one-on-one session with myself or one of our coaches. Either way, I encourage you to visit us at lockingyoursuccess.com and check out our pro membership so that you too can break through barriers and make quantum leaps in your trading. And that's what I have for you today. Thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you on the next Trading Performance podcast. Hey, if you enjoyed listening to this podcast, you have to check out my Trading Performance membership, where we take all this material to the next level. We study it and we apply it to bring our trading performance to peak levels. Simply go to tradingperformancepodcast.com, that's one word, tradingperformancepodcast.com, to receive information on how you too can become involved and improve your trading. I look forward to seeing you there.